Hudson Taylor.
Oh, Dominic.
Hudson Taylor. Hudson Taylor went to China when he grew up, and he preached there the gospel. And when he was little, since when he was a baby and was in mama's belly, they prayed for him to go there. So then when he was growing up at age 4, he said, when I grow up, I ought to be a missionary and go to China. And he was born in May 21, 1832. But while he was growing up, sadly, he just was sinning with his friends. He was going to their houses and just sinning. And his parents were still praying for him a lot, even his sister. And then when he, at age 17, he had a gospel tract and he wanted to read the story because there's always a story, the beginning and something about Jesus in the end, and he just wanted to read the story. But while he was reading the story, there was something that changed his mind and he just began to know and he got saved. So then everybody got so happy. And then later he wanted to give his life, so every day he will trust in God for his needs. And then one time he had just a half a crown, that's some money in English. And then when he had just this half a crown, poor man came and he asked for him, I need your help and pray for me. And Hudson Taylor went there, prayed, but he didn't want to give his half a crown. His family was dying and was starving and had so many children. But he didn't want to give. Finally, he just gave and he went home. And right when he gave, he felt so happy. And then when he went home, he needed that half a crown, and right when he needed it, he got an envelope, and there in this envelope was a gold money. Hudson Taylor just thought from who it came, and Hudson Taylor didn't know, so he thought it came from God, that money. Then he got so happy. Another time, he had his doctor that he studied medicine and like that, and his doctor asked for him to remember him to pay him because the doctor has so many stuff to do. Then he asked for Hudson to remember to pay for the doctor to pay Hudson. But Hudson wanted that God remembers the doctor to pay Hudson. So then Hudson waited and waited, and the doctor remembered to pay Hudson right in the last moment. And then, like this, he became growing, and while he was doing medicine, one time in his home, he got a little pin did poke him, and he forgot that. He was doing a medicine thing, and he dissected a man. He wanted to see in his classes. He was doing to see what is inside the man and stuff, and he couldn't have any owies, or he would die of the sickness the man had. But he had it and he forgot. So then he just did it, and he got so sick, he almost died. Even the doctor said he would die. But Hudson prayed so much, and he got better. The doctor got amazed. And then he went to China 21 years. This is how he looked like at 21 years. There he preached and passed tracts, and there was war, so in his house, a bomb came right to the next house and almost broke his house. Almost he died. But he didn't die there in the war. And then he lost stuff too, very many stuff when he was in China, so he had to sleep on the rocks of a temple and like that. And when he lost those stuff, he still couldn't get on. Then later he married Maria in January 23, 1858. And then later she died and he married Spalding. But with Maria he had 8 children, but sadly 4 of them died. So that was very hard for Hudson Taylor. But then he made a Jesus Hall, and at the Jesus Hall he said for other people about Jesus, and like a cursus, like you do und die Mama machst, what my mom and dad makes with some people. And then later, when he got bigger, he started thinking of making a missionary society, but he didn't want, because then he knew he would have to send people to go to China, but he didn't want, because he thought that if they died in China, it would be his fault. But he remembered that God was in control, so he made a missionary society and sent more than 900 people there. And he made churches and schools and mission stations. And then when he made so many stuff, he died at June 3, 1903. So then he died there. And I think he was very diligent, because he wrote a New Testament while he was there, and he studied so many languages. He studied Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, and he even studied medicine. So studying so many languages, I think it's really hard. So he was very diligent, and he was faithful. Is that the word? Because he had faith in God for his daily needs, to trust in God for his daily needs every day. Must be hard, man, because if he doesn't have any money, then he had very much faith, and he was courageous to go to China, knowing that it would be hard. So he went there, even knowing it would be hard. I recommend you to read this book, because you can learn to trust in God and learn from this great man, and you can learn from some Chinese too. And later, when he was in China, here was when he almost died. See, a bomb hit the other house, and very many tiles of the roof came here. And here was another one when he lost his stuff, and then he had to sleep in the temples. The robbers searched him and wanted to take his money. He had just the money, but God provided him there. And here is the missionary society that he did, the China Inland Missionary Society. Here's all the parts of China that he went and preached the gospel and sent people.
Great. And this Washington, and this up there.
This is when he was older.
Washington and that on my book too.
Everybody watched
Wunderschön, Johannes.
Papa and Tata
Was für eine schöne
watched.
Geschichte. Mann, nochmal, Herr Jesus, danke für diesen Mann, der ganz auf dich vertraut hat. Ne? Hilf uns auch, so auf dich zu vertrauen.
Ich habe viel besser dann gestern